Welcome to Business Innovators Radio, featuring industry influencers and trendsetters sharing proven strategies to help you build a better life right now.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. We are super excited today. We have Randy Anderson, the CEO of MODEXUS, which is a company that's driven by science, built on trust. And it's really a company that is doing things the right way and correcting the wrongs in the industry. Randy, thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate the time.
Absolutely. It's my privilege to do so, and I'm looking forward to our conversation.
Well, this is going to be a little different conversation than I normally have, because really, this is going to be kind of telling about the journey of Randy Anderson from adversity to visionary leadership at MODEXUS. And Randy, many people see this moment as a new chapter for MODEXUS, with you stepping in as the owner and the CEO. But in reality, you've been the driving force behind this company for years. What does this transition really represent to you?
That's an interesting question. And yes, I have been the driving force for many years now. It's a continuation, but at the same time, it is a brand new start, a new dawning of our company. Because anytime you step into that very last seat, that final sit behind that final desk, I mean, it definitely changes everything. I'm excited about it, though, because I feel like we're going to be able to continue doing the things that we've been doing all these years, but do it at a whole nother level, find another gear. There's one person I need to answer to, and that's God upstairs. And then the next is me. So that just kind of changes dynamic. And it's not, and I'm very grateful for Andrew Reinhardt, who preceded me as the founder. I was a co-founder, but preceded me as the CEO. I'm grateful that he put his trust in me. He trusted me to guide this ship all these years, but now to pass it on, willing to pass it on and know that it just opens the doors even wider to the possibilities of the things we can do in the product arena in the our supplemental income or business opportunity for our brand partners. Be able to continue to fine tune those programs. I'm looking to simplify those programs. The people that have been here through this journey as brand partners too. I mean, people ask, well, why would you do this at 60 years old? I just turned 60. And I want to touch on that a little bit here, but it's a big piece of that is all our people, because I see how passionate they are about not just the product offerings we have, but the community that we have developed. So huge transition, obviously a unique business opportunity for my family that I'm excited about, but that's just a piece of it. It really is about our people. And also, this must be said, it's about continuing the legacy of Dr. Charlie Rouse and the formulations that his brilliant formulations that he entrusted us all with. I made that promise to him, to his family. So that was a big part of this as well. We got a bright future ahead of us, and I'm just grateful and humbled to have this opportunity.
Absolutely. We're going to dive into a lot of those pieces. Dr. Rouse, I mean, he's helped save my life in a lot of ways too. So we'll dive into that. But let's go back to the beginning, kind of your origin story.
Oh boy, we might lose him here.
What's it?
We might lose him here.
We might. No, I don't think we will. I don't think it's okay. Because you've really you've been through a lot of tough stuff that most people don't know about. And people, your brand partners and people on the executive team, they see the entrepreneur and the leader that you are today. But there's a story that has gotten you to this. You've almost been forged in fire, so to speak. Can you take us back to those early years and some of the challenges you got to overcome? I know that you came. I was fortunate. I got to interview your mom last night and kind of hear some of the stories, and I was taken back because I didn't know some of this. And I know you were taken in by Myrna and her husband in your teenage years. And, how did that experience shape you, who you became? What are the values that Myrna, instilled in you as you lead things today?
Well, it's let me preference this before I, kind of do a quick walk through there, if I might. Um, Anything I share in this area, and almost no one knows. I mean, it's my, obviously immediate family, even some some of the family I have here in Virginia now don't know. I mean, the intensity of the upbringing that I had, along with my brother. My brother Dan and I both were adopted at birth from two separate families, so we're not blood, but we are in my eyes and always will be. And I know he feels the same way. But yeah, we had a difficult upbringing. It was very mentally and even physically abusive from a standpoint of labor. Um, it's interesting today at 60 years old. I understand it much more. It
Right.
took years. There were some rough years there in my 20s and probably halfway through my 30s because the impacts of how I was raised. Um, I mean, they take their toll. They take their toll on anyone, and I understand that. But by the grace of God, at just always the right time, I had the right people that would show up and provide that opening, that guidance, um, mostly, from afar. But I'm very thankful for that because it just, it kept me from falling off the cliff, so to say. Um, the other thing too that I think was, well, some key turning points in this for me, and I think my brother would agree with this as well. Um, I had an opportunity. I was 18 years old, and finally just had enough and was able to break away
Hmm.
from that style of upbringing, and at a level that would in today's world would never make it, would never pass muster. My focus though has always been to focus on the good, because there's always good in everything if you just make that your focus. It might be a little piece of it, but there's always good in everything. And there's still things that I remember growing up on the farms, working like we did, having just completely different lifestyle than every other kid in our, in school, in our class. Made it tough too, because we were not like everybody else, whether it be how we acted, our clothes, or what we were taught. It set us up for a lot of heartache, a lot of abuse, a lot of bullying, a lot of stuff. It was hard, but one thing, I refused to use that as an excuse.
Right.
Just didn't have it in me to be the victim, and just fought to not be the victim. It is a choice. It really is a choice. And I may get some rocks thrown at me for that, but I've lived it at a level that most people will never ever experience. I hope, pray to God they don't. But I made that choice. Now, when I was able to break away, then entered an aunt and uncle, Myrna Brady. You've heard that name.
Yep.
And she's mom to me and has been since I was in, my late teens. And I don't care if it makes sense to anybody. It doesn't matter. To me, that's how it is, and I'll fight for that. If anybody wants to, have an issue with that, she will always be mom, and because she's done what moms do.
Right.
She's been there. She's been steady. Never tried to tell me what to do or to run things, but she was always there as that rock for guidance, um, for nurturing, for sometimes the stricter constructive criticism. She wasn't afraid to give it. Um, and we'll talk about that, I think, a little later, why, her from a business standpoint, her inspiration and her story too has powered me over the years. I think we're going to hit on that later. But I'm so grateful to to Myrna Brady and Denny and my uncle Tom. I mean, the people that stepped in there, and I was pretty much, 18, getting ready to go out on my own. So it was a short window of time, but it was an extremely impactful window of time. So that was key. My 20s and early 30s, like I said, it was tumultuous. I was very fortunate to be very successful professionally. But there were holes left in other areas of my life that I just didn't understand and was going to take time. I'll tell you what, I have to share this, Marcus. I just have to. If this is one thing that everyone can pull out of this discussion, I hope they will. In my 30s, I discovered what forgiveness is. Truly got to learn and understand what it means to forgive, and exercising that opportunity, that choice that we all have to forgive. I'm not saying we need to forget.
Right.
Not at all. We should never forget. But to forgive is what we're commanded to do. And wow, did my life start to change and turn for the even better. And it all started with forgiveness. Back to day one and the people that did the things that they did, the harmful things that they did, is being able to say, I forgive you. And if there's nothing else, since we're going personal here, I just need to make sure this is a key part of what I'm talking about, because it's so powerful, and I can get really emotional about this because it changed my life, and it'll change everyone's life. I don't mean just, oh, I forgive you. I don't, none of that BS. It's really deep down understanding forgiveness, the power of forgiveness, and why it's so important in our lives. So that was a real key point for me. And just that commitment to myself, that I will not be the victim.
You and I have some similar paths in that regard. I think yours was even more challenging. And if it's okay, I'll share some of this, because my mom passed away when I was 10, and I got thrown into a family situation with what I call my step monster. And it took me decades before I was able to forgive her. And forgiveness does, it transforms you in a way that nobody can experience. It really does give you the ability to truly be your true self and not be weighed down by your past. Because you had, and I hope it's okay for me to share this, because Myrna shared some things, like, when you were growing up, when they brought you home, you only showed up with a suitcase that had like maybe one pair of jeans, a couple of shirts, and that was it. But you were living in a barn. You guys had little barns that you had to live in. You had to shower with a hose. I mean, they wouldn't even let you live, in the main house. I mean, that's abuse to the nth degree. And people realize when you say forgiveness, you're forgiving a lot, and you went through a lot. Yeah. And so the fact that when you make a choose to not be the victim and to live life on your terms, is huge. And I commend you for that.
I'm not, the funny thing is I'm not that old. So this would have been in the late 70s and the early 80s, but we did. I a lot of that's just stuff I don't even think about too much, but I lived in a 12 by 12, 2x4 frame structure with plywood, no insulation. And this was in Northwest Florida, but it gets cold there. It snows there occasionally. And so, I had a wood stove, and from junior high years through high school years, I had to chop my own wood. We took baths with a hose every day, or in the farm pond. Didn't have even bathroom facilities like most kids. We didn't have anything that other kids have. It was like we were living in the, back in the 1800s. food handed out the door. We had the same thing every day for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I mean, it's like, and I just share all this, guys. Just, again, I'm not looking for any sympathy or whatever. It doesn't matter. Like I said, forgiveness, right? It doesn't matter. Even those things still shaped me for who I am and just what I do today. But I haven't had anything handed to me. I graduated high school with the shirt on my back, $20, and the jeans I was wearing, and I might have had one little bag of a few other little treasured items. So I don't remember what they are at this point.
Right.
Actually, I do a couple. I mean, I think there's one of them I still have today, just to kind of remind me. But yeah, it was interesting, and but it's still, everything that we go through in life shapes us, and it can either shape us in a positive way or shape us in a negative way. And for me, I was just hell bent on making sure that it was a positive way, even though it took years to refine that and make all the mistakes that you can make and probably still do today. I'm human, but what a journey it's been, and I'm thankful for the journey. And I'm glad that maybe I can air a little bit of it or share a little bit of it here, and somebody somewhere will hear this and pull some encouragement. But forgiveness is everything, and that was a major turning point for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And so Myrna and her husband pulled you out of that. You were about 15, correct? And so when you moved, that was the condition.
I actually was about 18.
You were 18. Okay.
Yeah, I was almost, it was a short stint for me with them because I was 18 and getting ready to go out on my own. But boy, did they pack a lot of good stuff in that short time. And I love them for it. I'm forever grateful. That's, I don't have the words to really express, how appreciative I am even all these years later.
Right.
I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for them.
That's amazing. And we had a great conversation with her. And so what are some of the values that Myrna instilled in you that still guide you to lead today?
How to live like a normal human being and not in a shed somewhere, or I didn't have to worry about all this stuff. I mean, look, seriously, I gotta laugh about that and think about it, but I didn't have all the normal things that most people just kind of take for granted. I didn't know how to make a bed. I didn't know how to fold my clothes. I didn't know how to do anything. I'm a quick learner. That's a good thing. But from a value standpoint, I knew how to work, but I knew how to work because I had to work. I mean, we were pretty much slave labor, and I knew how to. I mean, that was not an issue. It's how do you take that desire or that drive, be productive, and turn it into something positive. Right? How do you make that focus, and how do you? It was a challenge. I didn't know that you could make a choice and between going and being productive and working, or sitting on the couch all day long and watch TV. I mean, those were not. I didn't have all that stuff. I mean, I didn't have a choice. So it was just a completely different life. So learning how to work, learning how to be productive, learning how to communicate and build relationships with all types of people was completely different. I mean, Marcus, the list just goes on and on and on. I mean, we could be here all day of the stuff that I learned from mom. I mean, it's a long list. Let's just put it that way.
I get that. And your mom actually shared something with me that I thought was very interesting. She said that even early on, you kind of had a gift for connecting with people and making them feel comfortable. Where do you think that comes from?
I think that's just God given. It's just how He wired me. I'm a pretty sensitive person overall, even as a kid, but also a type A high strung person. So that's an interesting combination, right? High strung, wound type, but also extremely sensitive. It was, I cared what people thought. I cared about how others felt, and that really compounded a lot of things for me growing up. I had to learn how to work with all different types of people too, through those school years because of a lot of the stuff I took at school. I mean, because remember, we were different. We had raggedy clothes. We had oddball haircuts. We had everything. We just stuck out like sore thumbs, right? And, I had to learn how to build those relationships if I wanted to survive, or I'd have been in a fist fight every single day. I mean, that's just a fact. So that's probably where some of that came from. But I think a lot of it, I'd give glory to God for just wiring me that way as a person. And I feel like, I'm still that way today. Now, can I be hard nosed when I need to be? And can I be intense and head on? Yep. All of the above. Remember, I'm still type A and still wound somewhat tight, even at this part of my life. But I think over the years, I've just I love people.
Yeah.
In general, I get even today. I'll get teased about this. That is, well, you let people take advantage of you. No, I don't. I give them the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
Right out of the gate, every single person I meet, they're a nice person until they prove to me otherwise. They are a good worker and a just a solid person until they prove to me otherwise. Now, it's just, that's my approach and always has been when I meet people. What's the old saying? I'd rather give them the rope and let them decide whether they want to use that rope for good or they want to hang themselves with it.
Right.
You get the choice.
Absolutely. I'm the same way. I see, naturally see the best in all people, until they prove me otherwise, and, that's a great quality to have, because in this world, we're almost wired by media and all the things to focus on the negative and focus on, what's wrong with things and what's wrong with this person or that person versus what's great about them. What's good about them, that, and what's going good in the world, and just having that different perspective makes all the difference in the world.
It's really easy to fall into that trap, especially in the world today. I mean, everything, even if you look at our leadership in this country, drives me crazy. I mean, just everybody attacking everybody and just this constant game of trying to destroy people. And I despise that. I hate it. That's not, I just refuse to be that way. And it is a choice. And I got a great news for you. If you make that choice and that conscious effort, you're not going to be that person. The more you practice that, doesn't mean you're not going to stumble or have moments, because we all do. We're all human. But the more you practice it and make that commitment, the easier it'll get over time. And it just becomes a part of who you are. So I'm glad somebody noticed that. So thanks, Mom. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. So let's fast forward a little bit here. And I know, you said, you talked about, you had some early success in your 20s and in your 30s, and for many entrepreneurs, there's a proving ground that sharpens your skills. For you, that was Starlight. And many of the people in this community remember those Starlight days, the meetings, the presentations, the energy. And your mom even said that you were someone that could walk into a room and immediately connect with people. What did those years teach you about leadership and building a movement?
Well, that introduction to our industry actually, once again, entered Myrna and Denny Brady, mom and stepdad. They're the ones that introduced me to this industry back in the mid 90s. So it's their fault that I'm here. It's their fault that this happened. Isn't that fun? I think what a tribute to them for thinking of me and introducing me to this industry. And I remember Denny Brady looking at me in their living room at the time and saying, I remember sitting on the floor in front of them as they were telling me about Starlight and the opportunity. And I just remember Denny taking a minute and looking me dead in the eye. And this is all he said: Randy, I know that you would be amazing in this industry. In other words, in so many words, what he was saying to me is, I believe in you. And I think so many times as people are looking to invite somebody to an opportunity to enroll them, get them on their team, whatever terminology you want to use, I think it's the focus is on what they're going to do for you, and let's hurry up and get them enrolled, instead of really taking time to tell the story and then be willing to look them dead in the eye and say what Denny Brady said to me, which is in a sense so many words, I believe in you. And of course, Mom was right there beside him, and same thing, agreeing wholeheartedly. That was all I needed to hear my entire life. Think about how I was brought up and everything that you kind of learned here. And then to have somebody that I already trusted and loved and appreciated be willing to take an opportunity, and if I just said no, they'd have been okay with it and it wouldn't have mattered. It would totally would have been fine. But for them to look me dead in the eye and say, I believe in you, in so many words, we need to all do that. And I've made it a mission. There's many of you that are going to hear this that have heard those words from me direct to you. And you know that I mean it. So important. Those years with Starlight, once I made the decision that that's what I wanted to do, I lived it, I breathed it, I soaked it up. Marcus, I met you in that company. This guy, Marcus, by the way, was he was the youngest diamond in that company. I wanted to be Marcus. I did. It's true. And here we are. Look where we are today. To be with Marcus. There were lots of other people too. I saw their success. I wanted to meet them. I wanted to know what made them tick. I wanted to know why they had reached the level of success they had in that company. That was a wonderful, I think that was about maybe a 12-year journey for me, give or take, with that company.
Yep.
And the people that I met, I traveled the world. The ownership of that company, I remember there was a lady named Val Close that worked in the home office that was all things. I mean, she was the person that she could lay down the law, but she could also make you feel like she was her best friend. And I learned a lot from her. So many people there. I had great people that were my upline at that time, and I'm always grateful to them.
Yeah.
Hey, when I needed it, they would reel me back in, chew me out, straighten me out. When I did great, they also did the same. But they were setting the and it would be amazing. I wish they all could understand today that they were all at that time setting the foundation for where we are today. And I'll be forever grateful for that company. I also learned about the power of wellness in that company, because like here, we had a couple of just legendary people in the power of synergism. They had the knowledge. One of them, if I remember right, he was a relative of some of the last living Cherokee medicine men.
Dr. David Winston. Yeah.
Dr. David Winston. And it was people like Dr. Winston stepped forward to our beloved Product Research Council founder, Dr. Charlie Rouse. They knew how to blend together ingredients, natural ingredients, to extract more power out of each one and create a product that truly worked. And a lot of what we have done from a product standpoint is being duplicated here at MODEXUS, but in a time when that's not the norm.
Yeah.
The synergism is becoming a lost art. Thank goodness we have Dr. Allen here, because he understands this. But I think he would agree with me that the art of synergism is becoming a lost art, because it's most in the industry. It's just not about that. It's about the bottom line. They'd rather sell you 6 or 7 bottles, then really, if blended correctly, could be put in one product that would be 10 times more powerful and a whole lot more value to you, the consumer. So that's where I learned this part of the industry, was those years at Starlight. Um, the business side of it, it opened up a whole different Pandora's boxes of a box of personalities that I needed to learn how to work with. I mean, virtually, if you think about it, you're working with pretty much every personality there is on the planet. There's 2 things. I've joked about this, but it might be true. I think there's 2 things that would just add so much value to our youth of today. First of all, needing to spend even if a couple years in the military, have that experience serving our country, getting the training, what else I want to say? I think training's getting the training, the mentoring that I think so many of our kids need today in that structured environment. But the other thing that I used to always joke about, but I think it could be true as well, everybody should participate in a company in our industry for at least 5 years. Give it a 5-year journey, because it's all of the intangible things that are going to help shape you and just help you be overall a more well-rounded, better person. And I can't sit here. I guess if I thought about it enough, I could make a list and explain that deeper, but I've experienced it and I've seen it duplicated. Marcus, you're an example of that. I've seen it duplicated over and over and over again. So, hey, that's a longer answer than you probably wanted. I guess it'll give the video people a whole lot to think about here. But did those years, those formative years, did it have an impact? Did it contribute to where we are today? This opportunity with MODEXUS, that is a resounding yes.
Well, absolutely. I think for both of us, it instilled us the passion for health and nutrition and supplements, and kind of shaped our model of the world in a lot of ways. So I'm grateful for it as well, just as you, and I think it's what instills in us, our whether it's MODEXUS or anything we're doing in life. In business, it's never about selling something. It's really about helping people and changing their lives. And we've seen it firsthand. The product saved my dad's life, and and what's interesting is that the things we learn from there really has become the foundation for what you've created here at MODEXUS. And I know that, we started this, talking about, honoring Dr. Rouse, that partnership. I know that, one of the unique things about MODEXUS is that partnership that you had with Charlie Rouse, and how you brought him into the fold, so I guess my question is, what happens when an entrepreneur's vision meets world-class scientific expertise like Dr. Rouse's?
Well, I think our product lineup is proof of what can happen. I don't think we need anything else. Look, there have been the formation of MODEXUS started in 2018. And again, I want to just say right here, and want everybody to know my gratitude to Andrew Reinhardt for having that vision, for sharing that vision, and being willing to say, okay, let's do this, and hit that button, and having the resources and the experience to know how to get things rolling. Well, I mean, that's something I'll be forever grateful for. And Andrew has a very bright future ahead of him. I've always been a huge fan. I love hearing when I get a chance to talk to him, learning, hey, what are you up to now? What project are you working on? I hope I live long enough that one day I'll see him on the cover of Forbes magazine. It wouldn't surprise me at all if that's the case. And what a blessing, whether it's me, whether it was Product Research Council, our corporate team, our brand partners in the field, we all are better because of Andrew Reinhardt. So I want to make sure that message is very clear, and that's how I think about that. So just back with Dr. Rouse, though, Andrew did not know Dr. Rouse. I had known Dr. Rouse for well over 15 years at least. I don't know exactly. I know it was well over 15 years. Had stayed in touch with him, had watched him from afar, sometimes up close, and got to know, okay, who this guy is, what his core values were. And when it came time to get this company rolling, I had no doubt in my mind who needed to start our product research council and who needed to be involved with our product formulations. I was very fortunate to be able to spend time working with Dr. Rouse on all of our products, with the exception of Probio Balance that came later. But I've learned so much from him. He had the credentials behind his name, but I would get in there and just say, okay, teach me everything you know. And then the business side of it became my responsibility to say, okay, we've got this formula. How do we turn this into a saleable product? It takes all of it together. You can have the best science in the world, you can have the best products in the world, but if you can't make them work in a business model, then it really doesn't matter. That's just how it is. You have to have that teamwork. And we were able to accomplish that, I think, in a big way. I think the stories that we hear constantly, I had a story just this week with a gal that cuts hair, and she's around a lot of people. She ran out of longevity. She let herself stay out of longevity, and she started getting sick. And she messaged me and say, "Hey, here's the deal." I said, "Okay, well, that's just, again, proof positive." And we hear these. If I hear it once, I hear it 1,000 times. All of our products, they work. They make a difference. We've just got to continue to work at growing our customer base and growing our community. I mean, that's the bottom line, is the key. But Dr. Rouse will be forever held in my heart. We miss him. I miss him every day. I miss being able to pick up the phone and just simply call him and say hello. Or maybe it was a question where I just wanted his wisdom, and he always had the right answer.
Absolutely. No,
incredible. So
yeah, I lived that firsthand. I mean, you were very gracious. Obviously I was taking MODEXUS products, before and after my surgery, 28 days in the ICU, almost dying, 4 blood transfusion. I can go on and on, 3 surgeries. But really, it was you introduced me to Dr. Rouse, and Dr. Rouse guiding me to the point where literally 6 months after my surgery, I was able to wean myself off all medications, and I've been drug free for almost, a little over 3 years now. And it's extraordinary, the life changing power of that man, but also you, because I know, even though he was the product formulator, you guys worked closely in creating those formulas, if I'm not mistaken.
We sure did. You're not mistaken. And Marcus, I think it's safe to say, if it wasn't for Dr. Rouse and these formulas, all of them, except rhythm. I don't think you're using rhythm.
No, I'm not.
You would not be leading the quality of life at the level you are today if it wasn't for Dr. Charlie and these formulas.
Absolutely.
There's no way at all. I mean, you're very blessed to still be with us, and I'm sure glad you are. So
every day is a great day.
But Dr. Rouse had that impact on thousands and thousands of people. So many I've got so many Dr. Rouse stories I could tell. We didn't have enough time, but we're so blessed, but we have a responsibility. Charlie said it when he was with us, and I intend to carry this on. We have a responsibility. We have the best of the best here at this company for a lot of reasons, and you're hearing a lot of these reasons. We have the best of the best, but there's responsibility to whom much is given, much is expected.
Yes.
Period. Now, that is also a saying that I heard a lot in the later years of my growing up. And I remember Mom Brady saying that to me many, many times. She knew, she could see the potential, and she made sure that I knew that much was expected. And I was held accountable to that, and I'm very grateful for that. Same thing applies here, though. We've been given a lot with MODEXUS. the question I would ask every single brand partner, are you giving your full potential? Are you living up to your full potential with the opportunity you have been entrusted with here at MODEXUS? And that's a question I ask myself daily. And I would just invite everybody, join me in doing that. Make that part of your daily regimen. First thing in the morning. Am I living each day to the best of my ability, to my full potential, and things that I'm involved with, like MODEXUS? Now, it's on the priority rung there. I understand. But if it's high enough on the priority rung, you need to be asking yourself that question. And if it's not high enough on the priority rung, maybe that needs to be evaluated too, because what we have here, I don't think is duplicated in the industry at all right now. There have been hundreds of companies come and go in our space since October 2nd of 2019.
Yeah.
Hundreds. That's a fact. And we're still here, still going strong. And now with this commitment, we're not going anywhere at all. At this point in my life, I mean, we've all heard the story of planting that faith is like a mustard seed. It's the size of a mustard seed, which is pretty darn small, right? And do we have that much faith?
Right. Yep. Absolutely.
Are we then planting that mustard seed and tending to it and taking care of it? At this point in my life, that was a pretty big mustard seed to plant, right?
Yes, it was.
A lot of people say, well, why do you want to do this at this point in your life, including some family members? What are you doing?
Right.
You should, even as we're setting all this up, my legal counsel, accounting counsel, the first question independently that they both asked me is, you're 60 years old. Do you really want to do this?
Yeah.
I'm just getting started. Age is just a number.
Yep, it is.
There might be other reasons that you do or don't do the things that you do in your life. I would challenge you, don't let age be the excuse. Don't use age as an excuse.
Agreed. I've always said age is a state of mind. That's all it is.
Absolutely. But those mustard seeds, that faith, those grains of faith, keep planting them. We're not supposed to just hold on to them.
Right.
Plant them, take care of them, let them grow. And this is a great community environment to do just that.
Speaking of mustard seeds, you obviously planted some early on when you guys first formed the company.
Mm-hmm.
So looking back at those early days, what was your vision that you saw for the company?
I knew we had an opportunity here to do things the right way.
Okay.
Whether it would be with our because I'd seen all that. I'd been around the industry long enough, and I'd seen some of the ugly stuff, some of the behind the curtain stuff that nobody's supposed to see. And I didn't like what I saw. And I knew we could do better. I could go back to the early Starlight days, especially, and I just knew that we could do better. I knew that people deserve better. And that was a big driving force for me. It wasn't on how much money I could make.
Yeah.
I heard people say this in the beginning. I won't name names, but let's hurry up, knock this out of the park and get rich and go live on an island and drink Mai Tais all day. They used to just get under my skin. I hated that because that's not the right way to do things, not who I am. But I knew that this door had been open for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt very strongly and knew that I needed to walk through that door, take those steps of faith. But I made a commitment early on that I would only do that if I was committed to doing this the right way in everything we do. And I think for the people, especially that have been with us for our founding brand partners, I think would agree if they really stop and think about it, we've done the right way. So the question is, are we going to continue to do things the right way? Yes, we are.
Mm-hmm.
And are the people listening and the people that are part of our brand partner community, are you going to recommit and lock arms with me and work with me to keep that resolve and to continue moving things forward the right way, whether it be our products, whether it be our community, whether it be our supplemental income opportunity. And I think a lot of you are seeing we're already starting to make some changes.
Yep.
And they're very positive changes. So look, in the beginning, doing things the right way, righting the wrongs in the industry, doing no harm are what drove me then. But here's the good news. It's still what drives me today. And I feel like that if we stay on this track, we're going to get that proverbial hockey stick growth. We've had steady growth, but one of these days, we're all going to wake up and this thing's just going to shoot towards the moon. It's kind of one of the laws of the universe. We just have to stay with it.
Yep.
I've made that commitment to stay with it.
Yep. No, they say, the whole adage of overnight success, they don't see the 20 years that it took to get to that point.
Right. Yeah, it's anything worth having is true every time.
Yep. Absolutely.
Everything else is kind of like a hot air balloon. It goes up quick and it comes down just about as quick and usually not with good results.
Exactly. So your partnership with Dr. Rouse, you established a research council, a very strong research council. You created a formulation philosophy of do no harm and using therapeutic doses of synergistic blended, science proven ingredients and blends and so forth. How did you two, approach building those formulas differently than most supplement companies? For those, there are people probably listening that they maybe aren't familiar with MODEXUS. They're not familiar with, what goes on in the supplement industry. So could you give us a quick overview of what makes this different? What makes MODEXUS formulations truly unique and different?
Do no harm. It sounds like a simple phrase, but it's really do no harm. It covers a lot of bases. Is what we're putting together truly going to give a therapeutic result, a therapeutic end game or outcome for the people that are using it? Are we delivering as high a value as possible per unit? Mm-hmm. That's really important to me. Are we delivering as high a value? Because look, I understand. Again, I've had to earn every single inch of everything in my life, and I'm grateful for that. But I know there's just tens of thousands of people out here the same way. They work hard every day. They're providing for their families. And if they choose to invest in well care instead of Western medicine, which, by the way, well care, people will call it alternative, and I don't like that term because Western medicine is actually the alternative. Well care has been around for thousands and thousands of years.
Yes.
What was Dr. Rouse? I can't quote the verse verbatim like he can, but it goes kind of like this. God created grass for the cattle, but he created herbs and plants for the nurturing and wellness of mankind. And it's been around for thousands of years. So it's not, what we do is not alternative. It's mainstay, and it needs to become even more mainstay here in North America. And I think that awakening is underway, but we need to continue to share the word and get the information out there, because we do have the best, and we're going to add to the lineup, but we're not going to change. We're not going to chase the gimmick products.
Right.
You guys have seen that over the 7 years that we've been here too. There's lots of stuff thrown in my face all the time. There's a lot of pressure sometimes, even from the field, and they no harm intended. I realize, but we're just not going to chase gimmicky products. And I think my track record over the last 7 years is worth evaluating, and I can stand on it comfortably with what we're doing. We would also take a look and say, okay, are we covering the essential systems in the human body? I mean, if you look at our lineup, right now we basically do. Now we have a new product that we're working on. It's not here as quickly as I would like. I'm pushing on that. We're getting really, really close. So we will add things. We definitely will. I'm not I probably am more pro adding additional products to our lineup than the former owner. Matter of fact, a lot more so, but it's going to be the right products. It's going to be products that are high value, do no harm, and things that our community are going to use, and not just use once, but use month after month, year after year, and are excited to talk to or share with their family, their friends, the communities that they live in. So that, I think, answers your question a little bit, but I mean, it really do no harm encapsulates all of it. And therapeutic value, are we given maximum value for what we're offering? And I know we do. I can sleep at night knowing that we're putting our best foot forward every single day.
Absolutely. I love it. I love it. That's a strong track record to run on. And speaking of track records, I mean, you've essentially been the operational engine for this company for years. And recently, you've obviously made this decision to step forward and acquire MODEXUS. What was the moment, or was there a moment that during that process you realized that this company is now my responsibility, and where am I going to take it?
I think the transition has just been announced here in the last few days, so it's been some time working through all this. It doesn't just happen. And Marcus, I'm sorry, I know I'm getting a little glare here, but everybody knows what I look like. That's not the important part. It takes time to do these things. I tell you what, anybody that owns a business in the country, I mean, they're special in every single community. Those of you, the business owner, know exactly what I mean. Those of you that aren't, probably something worth learning about a little bit, or maybe even, being a small business owner, because it's not easy. And it gets harder every day. The red tape, the compliance, and all the stuff. So there's been a lot to wrap my head around, even though I was doing a lot of it already. There's, it's just a whole nother layer of things that all of a sudden, okay, I've got to get this done. This is 100% on me. But I was really fortunate. And again, I go back to Mom.
Yeah.
And, I got to watch her. She graduated from high school. She went to work with a contact lens manufacturing company in the Indianapolis, Indiana area. She was the receptionist. She answered the phone, make sure everybody had their coffee, whatever, all that stuff. But she learned the business.
Yeah.
And several decades later, she retired owning the business. She went from front desk to owning the business and then selling the business when she was ready to retire. What an example.
Yeah.
She set. And I was watching very, very closely. So I was really blessed to have her as a key sounding board through the process. Andrew Reinhardt was a key sounding board as well. I want to make sure I give credit where credit's due. There are other people involved as well, but it's been a good process. We've still got some things to button up and get taken care of. That's why I think our field probably would think I've been a little bit quiet over the last few months. Well, they know why now. But overall, the journey's been great, and I've been very fortunate to have rock solid people there to answer questions, provide guidance, and certainly a lot of prayer about this situation is the right thing to do too.
Without a doubt. So now that you are at the helm of the ship, I know that you've always had a servant leader mentality. What kind of leader do you want to be for moving forward with MODEXUS and the MODEXUS community?
Well, do I need to change anything?
I don't think so.
I mean, I think I appreciate the question, but I don't know that we need to change anything. Maybe probably at a level where we need to have even a higher level of accountability.
Yeah.
Starting with me and all the way down, whether it's our corporate team, our product research council, our brand partners, I think there needs to be a higher level of accountability, and that starts with me. And it starts with me. I don't know if demanding that's the right word, but certainly setting the bar where people have no question. They know that I expect that.
Right.
I very much love serving the people. I mean, some of the best times for me is not having all the compliance and red tape and all the stuff to do, but when I have a day where I can just pick up the phone and call people.
Yeah.
Or no, last night we started. We're kicking off the transition here in the first full week, and we're doing one of the things I like to do, and that's offering a very high value savings event for our field.
Promotion.
And we're doing that with Relieve AU. What a treasure of a formula! I don't know that our people really understand how special what we have in Relieve really is. There's really nothing like it on the market today. There have been stuff that's come and gone. There are things out there that are a whole lot more expensive. Relieve is an expensive formula for us to make. Dr. Rouse entrusted us with Relieve. He spent almost a decade perfecting this. He's studying the endocannabinoid system and learning just how all the different pillars of pain management in our bodies work, how God made us, how our pain system, nervous system works together, and then how to manage pain, because we're all going to have it at some point. I had it yesterday. I had to go, another visit to an oral surgeon, and this guy, he's always said, he said, I don't know how you deal with the pain. I said, very easy. We have a product called Relieve. The loading dose works really well for me, by the way. I take 3. I wait a couple hours and take 3 more. Usually I forget I was even uncomfortable at all. It works that well for me on anything that's inflammatory or inflammation related. But what a blessing there. So, kicking off the, things here with providing this value opportunity. I mean, we're going to continue to do things like that. Listening to our field. We've been doing a lot of that. We recently introduced the power of 7. We're simplifying things. I mean, there are a lot of simplifications for the brand partner program that went in place March 1st.
Yeah.
So it's just making it easier, making it more relative to the lifestyles and the fast-paced world that we live in today. 100%. I'm excited about it. Well, once we can get the ship turned and get these things all in place, then we can certainly start teaching and training. But it's so simple that's really not going to take a whole lot to do. It's going to be there for the taking for the brand partners that really want to engage in it. Building our customer community is just ultra important to me. I want to have tens of thousands of happy MODEXUS customers across North America, across the globe. We have some tremendous opportunities in some international markets and the logistics already in place to capitalize. And we're not capitalizing on that right now like we should be.
You're in like 25 countries, are you not? Quite a few.
Our capability to move these formulas around the world is unreal. I mean, there are places on the globe that I can get product to people's doorsteps quicker than I can get it to your doorstep where you live. So, does that answer your question? But I'm not going to change who I am or what I do. I'm going to commit to all of you to get better at it.
Well, it's almost like, when you don't have full ownership, you're limited to what you can do. And I know you've been bursting at the seams to really take this company to a whole nother level. I mean, you're just the fact of the culture you created, with the MODEXUS community, it's so different than other companies in the industry. Do you want to shed a little light on that a little bit? Because I know you spent a lot of time creating that good culture.
Well, do people feel included here? Yes. Do they feel like they're receiving maximum value for their hard-earned dollars? Yes. Do they feel heard? I think overall, if they are giving it a fair chance, that I think most of them will tell you that they feel heard. And we can't implement everything, but we can certainly listen, right? We can listen to what is working. We can have the vision also to look ahead and say, okay, where's the industry going? Where's the industry going? And let's make sure we stay not weeks or months ahead of it, but years ahead of it. And I feel like we've done a good job of that with, for the size of the company that we are anyway. I think really just going back and people just they want to feel like they're included, they're part of a community. That if they do have something to say, that it is recognized and appreciated, and are they getting value?
Yeah.
Is what they're a part of? Are they excited about being a part of it? If they're excited about it and it's providing value, then are they more willing to share it with others, which is key? It's lifeblood of what we do. I think that's a resounding yes, of course.
Absolutely. No, you've done a phenomenal job. The community, the people that are behind it, you really have product evangelists, customer evangelists out there that love these products because they do. They're amazing products, and they're unlike anything else the ops found out there. The synergistic blend and the Relieve AU, people don't realize it's the gold. It is the gold standard.
It's incredible.
Yeah,
it's the least expensive formula. I mean, in our lineup, and yet it's the most expensive to make. And I don't want to use the word price leader, but I repositioned Relieve. It was such a gift left to us by Dr. Rouse.
Yeah.
And I hope people will understand what I'm saying here. I mean, we need to be profitable with it, but it's really not, it doesn't fit the normal margin levels that I set for our other products. So it's a price leader product. It's a door opener product, and it's going to remain that way, but I'm not cheapening the product because it's a gold standard product, but I felt like we needed that one product in our lineup. And because of Dr. Rouse's commitment all those years to deliver this formula and entrust it to us, that I wanted to position this product where it is and do these, maybe 3 times a year or so, do these exceptional savings events for Relieve as just kind of a way for the company to give back to the field, but also to honor Charlie's legacy and the appreciation of him entrusting us with this formula, because frankly, he could have taken it anywhere and probably made a fortune with it.
Yeah.
Right. So, but he wanted MODEXUS to have this formula. We can't take that for granted. We just can't. And we're not going to, as long as I have anything to say about it. And we're going to find the right people that understand what I'm saying to add to our community. Again, the people who we have, but then add to our community to help us grow this legacy. So that's one example. Markus, I also want to take a minute here. I think it's just appropriate, and I don't want to not do this, is recognize the incredible team that we have around us here from the corporate standpoint. Markus, you're part of that equation. Thank you. You have a very unique skill set you bring to the company, and I know you're looking forward to expanding that. The amazing Maria, people just don't realize behind the scenes. I mean, she is a machine sometimes of the things that she gets done. I'm so appreciative. Christian Potter is going to be stepping back into a key role with me here in this transition. And I think everybody would be excited about that because everybody loves Mr. Potter. So that's good. Preston Grimes, Zach Sievert, what they bring to the team from a creative standpoint, the blog material, Zach writes that. Ashley and Matt, guys. Gosh, give them a thumbs up every time you can. These two are amazing at what they get done. And a lot of their work is directly for all of you in the MODEXUS community. So it's really important that I want to recognize them, but you take time to let them know how much you're appreciated. And then our product research council, Dr. Allen, Dr. Dina, Dr. Todd, representing the chiropractic field, and I think is huge and it's going to be a big part of our future. Our wellness nurses, Erica Coffey and Ann DiCarlo, and I want to add more wellness nurses. This is something again that I think is innovative. Companies in our space typically have never opened the door for wellness nurses on the product research council, except for a company named Starlight.
Yep.
Years ago, had a nurse, an RN. I learned a lot from listening to her. Her name was Meg Jordan, and I'm just so I learned an incredible amount from her. But it gave me an idea of the importance of that we continue to expand the number of wellness nurses that we have on our product research council, because they create a bridge from our community to the doctors that are involved in formulation or what have you. It creates a natural bridge to be able to filter questions, get questions answered. I'm excited about that. So I want to thank Erica and I want to thank Ann for being the first two to put their hand up and say, yes, we will, we're in. So incredible group of people. And I think that number is just going to continue to grow. And that's a key part in making us who we are today and making us a very strong community.
I love it. I love it. It's so teamwork makes the dream work. I know it's a big cliche, but there's so much truth in that. And to have the right team around you makes all the difference in the world. So I'm honored to do my part and whatever I can to help this company grow. I believe in it and I believe in you. And I know things are going to go phenomenally well for you. So let's kind of wrap things up with this one of the final questions I have. When someone listens to this interview 5 or 10 years from now and looks back at this moment when you stepped fully into the leadership at MODEXUS, what do you hope they say about the impact that you've had on this company and this community?
Well, if it's 5 to 10 years from now, then if the Lord's willing, I hope I'm still going strong. So it's still a work in progress. Is number one, right? Number two, it's not what they're going to say about me. It's what they're going to say about the company as a whole and the community as a whole. That's what's going to be important. Is I just get to be the guy sitting in the driver's seat. But it doesn't do any good for me to be sitting in the driver's seat if I don't have the busload of people, happy people behind me that are all part of the community and team, right? I mean, what's the point? Otherwise, just driving around in circles. So I hope what they see is a community of people that is in multiples significantly larger than where we are now. I would like to think that MODEXUS becomes a much more well-known brand across North America and beyond. Right now, I mean, you could probably go out here. I could probably go out here and ask 100 people if they heard of MODEXUS, and I might get one or two. So what if we could get that number up to where it's, 30, 40, even 50% of the people are like, yes, I've heard of this company. I've got a family member that uses this, or I know a friend that's used this product and absolutely loves it, and it's been a game changer for them. I keep mentioning community, but I've got some dreams and plans that I'd like to do as a community. What was the one thing at Starlight that kind of brought us all together, Marcus? And I think it was probably the first time I met you, but it wasn't on U.S. soil.
Right. No, it was our trips of a lifetime.
Yes.
We took the most amazing trips of a lifetime to places like Hawaii, to like Puerto Rico, to Venice, to Italy, to London. I mean, you name it. We traveled the world like Robin Leach.
What'd that do for us, though? It's so much more than the actual trip itself. Relationships is a word that comes to mind.
Absolutely. Longest standing relationships are those that not only were at Starlight with us, but we traveled the world together. We went to conventions together. We broke bread together. We laughed together. We told stories together. We laughed. We cried. We did it all, and it was amazing. It was an amazing time.
There are people here at MODEXUS today that were a part of that. I remember having multiple conversations with you on trips of a lifetime. I think the first one was Italy in '97, if I remember right. Again, I was an Indiana farm kid, a Florida farm kid, because and remember, my background now.
Yep.
I was green as grass and then some. And to be put on a plane and on my way, first of all, just the belief that I can do that. I can go to Italy. It's okay. Even though I've been told most of my life that I'd never amount to anything, I wasn't going to be this, I wasn't going to be that, and just beat to death. I refused to be a victim. But yet I'll admit, it was still hard at first to say, it's not so much that, yes, I can do that. It was, I deserve to do that.
Correct.
That's really what it boiled down to. And Starlight was that next step for me of understanding I deserve to be able to have that kind of success, that it was okay to shoot for that kind of success. And it was, people like you, Marcus, other diamonds in the company, upline leadership that saw something, were willing to mentor, Mom and Denny for believing in me. And again, looking me dead in the eye and say, I believe in you.
Yeah.
That was a real game changer, but it was such an important part. I've heard it said that, well, that'll never be done again. That's not possible to ever do that again. And I'm not willing to buy into that.
I love it.
That's one of my goals here. Now, it's going to take some serious commitment from our brand partners.
Yep.
And again, age is just a number, so I don't even want to hear that. It's possible if we all do that. Do you realize, Marcus, that we have power of 7 now, that if every brand partner in this company would make a commitment to at least hit that first spark achiever. So our brand power of 7 champions, we have levels of achievement. That first level, the spark achiever, if every brand partner in this company said, I am going to hit that mark this month, as an example, how much our company would grow. It'd be explosive growth, because it isn't just that one person, because they use the products, they start having success. You don't think for a minute that they're not sharing that with other household members, other family members, friends? Absolutely. If we all committed to create that growth and to capitalize on this new program we put in place, it would be amazing. And growth like that would then allow us to start looking at a MODEXUS travel club.
Yep.
I just spilled the beans.
Absolutely. Those trips of a lifetime allowed us to believe it in between our ears, so that we could believe it in between our hours.
And it can be done again.
It can be done again.
It just takes committed people, committed growth. So much here, so much in front of us. So what a great conversation we've had. I could keep going, but
this is awesome. We've been longer than we planned, but that's okay. It's all good. The things you shared, Randy, from your journey from a farm kid, in tough times, and to CEO of the company, to where this company is going to be going 5 to 10 years. I can't wait to see what's going to happen. So let's wrap things up here. If people are listening to you and they want to learn more about MODEXUS, they want to learn more about these products, want to learn more about what a brand partner is, anything like that, what's the best way for them to reach out and find out the information?
So I'm going to do 3 things here. First of all, you're welcome to just email support@modexus.com if you want to know more about the company. That'll come in. I'll see that too, because I see all of them. I see all the support messages that come in. Just make sure you leave your name and how we can contact you, how the best way to contact you, timing wise. I mean, just kind of so that we're accommodating your schedule. But we'll make sure that someone reaches out and gets your questions answered. That's all. Initially, it's just let's just introduce you and get those questions answered. I also encourage you to YouTube. Go find us on YouTube. There's an incredible library of material there. I think there's over 400 videos. Most of them are very short. Product information, company information. There's a lot there. And it's none of this flashy produced stuff either. It is just authentic stuff, and will be a lot of value. So if you're on YouTube, that would be good. You can find us on Meta, Facebook, Instagram. So there's plenty of information out there. We also have a private product community, so it's a closed community. But if you connect with us, then we can see about getting you added to this Meta community, which it's on Facebook. But there's years of product stories and fantastic information from a product lineup standpoint. Life-changing stories for many people. Also, of course, modexus.com. If you're like, hey, I want to go check the products out, there's something here I heard that I think I probably could use, just go to modexus.com. Your customer accounts are free. Just go in, learn the products, make your selections. You can use we even have a code for new people, say 15. We'll give you a $15 gift right off the bat. When you create a customer account and place that first order, you're going to get a $25 gift from us immediately after you place that first order. So just little things like this are what make our company and culture different.
Absolutely.
I mean, how many of you ever had that experience before?
Exactly.
We're giving you gifts before you even get started.
I love it. I love it. Well, it's all about giving and making a difference. And Randy, you're definitely making a difference. So I want to thank you so much for your time today. You shared your journey and you shared so many golden nuggets out there for our listeners. So I really appreciate you being on the show today.
Thank you for hosting this. I appreciate it. It's not easy telling your own story. So I know you approached me and said, hey, we really need to do this. And it wasn't really in my comfort zone. It's not really who I am. I don't like talking about myself too much. So thank you for creating the platform and the questions to be able to do this. I know you're going to have a lot of fun with it. And I'm sure Matt Savina is probably going to see this pretty quick too. So it'll be fun stuff, I think. So thank you for making this possible.
You're welcome. My pleasure. And glad to always help tell the story. So thank you so much for being here. And, what I hope everyone listening today heard is that MODEXUS isn't just entering a new chapter. It's stepping in fully into the leadership that's been quietly guiding this company all along the way. Randy Anderson is not just the CEO in title. He's the visionary, the architect, and someone who deeply cares about the people building this company alongside him. So thank you so much for tuning in today. And that's it for this edition of The Inside Track. We'll see you next time. Cheers, everyone.
Thanks for listening to Business Innovators Radio. To hear all episodes featuring leading industry influencers and trendsetters, visit us online at businessinnovatorsradio.com today.